Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on Spirit Night number 4. Tonight is really just gonna be casting vision and helping you guys with some mindset things. So the first thing I wanted to go over was the fact that we need to get over the ideal that we all have of perfection. Perfection is holding you guys back from so much. Whenever it comes to content days of taking selfies, I feel like we think we have to get the perfect shot. We have to get the perfect selfie. What if I, look silly in my pose? I don't know how to pose. If you don't know how to pose, get yourself on Instagram and search some influencers. Go look at the top leaders and copy their poses. Ashlyn has amazing poses. I slay. I got some amazing poses. Come copy me. Look at Terry G. She has some good poses. Okay, you have some incredible leaders to look up to. We are pretty good. Okay, we look fine in our photos. Come copy us, and then go look up the other leaders. Go copy Steph Dunn. Her poses are really cute too. I'm trying to think of other Christy Christensen. Is that her last name? Her stuff is really cute too. Y'all can go look up any of them and just copy what they do. When it comes to posing, it doesn't have to be perfect. When you're making the TikToks, I talked about this last night, doesn't have to be perfect. Don't give yourself, whenever it comes to a photo, if you're trying to do a specific pose, 3 times and you're out. Just use it. Stop trying to perfect it. Same thing on TikTok. Hit the record button 3 times, and if you think it needs a 4th time, don't even go past that. 3 times is it. Okay, it's a baseball game. We're 3 and done. We got to stop using so much time on content and overthinking it because we think we have to be perfect. We're not perfect. And you guys, people don't want to see perfect anymore. Like even on Instagram, really perfect isn't the best thing to put on there anymore. It used to be very much like everything has to be so on there, like I used to feel like I didn't fit in on Instagram. And now I follow so many people that have a huge following and their feed isn't perfect. It's literally just them, and it's like authentic things like my house is a mess and I'm gonna make a joke about it or relate to you about that. I have no idea what I'm cooking for dinner tonight. My kids eat this and this, like it's things that people can relate to. So stop feeling like you have to be perfect. Stop feeling like you have to be somebody that you're not, and just be yourself. We've got to let go of that idea of perfection because that's going to hold you back from so much. People aren't going to buy you and they're going to see right through your crap. If you're trying to be perfect 24/7, they're just going to scroll on past. They want to follow people that have something they can relate to. People don't look perfect. Go for it.
Can I add something really quick? So my biggest goal, and I feel like we should all have this as a goal, is for people to meet us in person and be like, oh my gosh, you're literally the same person that you are on your social media. Like literally, I feel like I know you, like you're my best friend. Because I already basically know your dog's name, your kids' names, what you had for supper yesterday. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so Southern. That's the first time I said supper. Like I say dinner. Like,
yes, look at me with my honor.
Who am I? It's the leopard print. No, but really like make that a goal for your friends and followers to feel like they know you because you're the same person that you portray on social media. And it doesn't have to be this perfect person, like Becca was saying. Like, don't waste so much time on trying to be perfect that it's holding you back from being productive. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And on to the next thing is vulnerability. We have to start being more vulnerable on social media. It's hard. So I'm going to use her as an example because I know she doesn't care. And I know it's something that was a glass ceiling for her. And once she broke it, it helped her tremendously. But those of you that don't follow her, Ashlyn Brown has her fertility story that she shares so much. Y'all have no idea how long it took her to actually open up about that? Like she struggled in silence for so long when it comes to social media. She didn't share about it. She didn't want to talk about it. That's something super personal and uncomfortable, something that, at times has made her cry herself to sleep. It's so bad. But whenever she decided that she was going to be vulnerable and use her platform to connect with other people and give them hope, her interactions and the relationships that she made, and like she has such better relationship with people now, like distributors and customers as they come in, because she decided to be vulnerable and use her platform in a positive light about a negative situation that she was going through. And so that's something that we can all do better at, is being more vulnerable and giving our audience something like real. And it doesn't have to be like a fertility thing. It can be anything. I share about whenever I was a single mom all the stinking time. For me, like, that's a vulnerable part of my life. I talk about losing my daughter a lot, and I relate to people on that too. That's a vulnerable part of my life. I don't make statuses about it every week, but I'll always like put it in there whenever I'm telling people my story, and how I was not in the best mindset whenever I first started this, and that was a lot of my problem getting going, because I had an awful mindset. And so if you will open up and be vulnerable about the hard things in life, it'll help you relate to people a little bit better. They're going to be like, oh, she really is, a real person. She's not just a pretty picture or a pretty face. She has stuff going on too. So we've got to start being more vulnerable. And that's with like even weight loss journeys. Like, I know that's embarrassing to post about too, but y'all, we are health and wellness. So stop feeling ashamed of posting your belly on social media. That's your paycheck. Your belly is a dollar sign, okay? Go post that belly. I don't care if it ain't where you want to be, because then in 6 months or 3 months or 2 months or however long it takes you to get to your destination, I know people that's taken years for them to get to their end of their weight loss journey. But whenever you get there, you're going to be like, I'm so glad I did that, and I took people along for the ride, because you're going to have so many people flocking to you, and people didn't know you for that. Like, people see Ashlyn out in public now because she shares that, and they will literally strike up a conversation with her about it. And imagine if, like, how good it would make you feel if it was something like a weight loss journey or whatever, and they're just like, I'm thinking of you. How are you doing? How's your progress going? That's going to make you feel so good that you were able to help somebody else, motivate somebody else, and that you have that connection with your audience. So be vulnerable and let go of the idea of perfection. Nobody wants to be around a perfect person. Nobody wants to watch a perfect person all the time. That's miserable. It makes people feel like crap because then they're like, I could never compare. And that's not what we want. We don't want to be put on a pedestal. Okay. So do you have anything to add on to vulnerability, Terry, or no? If not, I'll go into the next.
Yeah, real quick, how Becca was saying, like to put the stomach out there, your belly pics. I've done that. And I mean, having stretch marks and being a mom is just, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand, and you're lucky if you don't have any stretch marks after having a baby. But I don't want you guys to think that you have to show your belly in order to get customers. How many result pictures do we see of someone fully clothed and wearing the same clothes, but with less weight? Like, it's definitely, you don't have to be in a bikini if you don't want to. Definitely take some for yourself so you can see, because I feel like it gives you a big confidence boost once you see like your snatchback, right? But I want you to know, like, you don't have to show yourself and like be that vulnerable if you're not comfortable with it. But at least have, bless you, but at least have, a fully clothed picture of you or whatever clothes you want to wear side by side, so that you can use that. Because I listened to a Zoom earlier today, and Amber Parker was saying she, I think she lost 100 pounds, and that was literally her ticket to making $1 million with the company. That's how she made her first million. So yeah, you don't have to show your stomach if you don't want, but just wear clothes and, side by side pictures. I think that's something that I'll be doing more of too, like my jeans. And you don't have to show like wait until the very end to show. Like today I went on my stories, I was like, you guys look, look at the back of my shorts. Like, they're so loose now and it feels amazing. Even just saying that, people will be like, oh my gosh, I just put on some shorts and they're tight, like I need some help. Let me see if there's anything else I was gonna cover. No, we can move on. I have something to say, but it'll come later.
Okay. And even like whenever it comes to vulnerability, part of that is being honest about your journey and your process. And so if it is weight loss or something and you fall off, share that, it's not always going to be an uphill climb whenever you're getting over things. Like when you're trying to lose weight or whenever you're recovering for something you're hurting from. Ashlyn's climb, because I'm using her as an example, it hasn't been uphill. There's been valleys, there's been, mountaintops, and there's been valleys, but she shared the good, bad, and the ugly. Okay. So that's what you need to do too. If you're going to be vulnerable, go all in and make sure you're sharing everything, because once again, that's what people are going to relate to. So the other thing I was going to share is y'all need to start every day getting in the habit of waking up and writing your like what you want to happen as if like, or what's going to happen as if it's already happened. Does that make sense? Like write your goals as if it's already happened. So for instance, I would write like, I'm so glad that I helped 2 people go Ruby this month, as if it's already happened. That hasn't happened in March, but every day write that as if it's going to happen. Because there is, and it could be anything. It could be like people promoting on your team, you making a certain amount on your paycheck. It could be personal in your life. So glad I was able to, you know, pay $500 extra on my mortgage this month, just whatever. It can be financially. It doesn't all have for, it can be real life. It doesn't all have to be financially. But if you'll start writing things as if they've already happened, there's power in words and there's power in putting pen to paper. Yo, there's a reason that people say that all the time. If you're hearing top leaders say it, there's a reason. Okay, success leaves clues. Y'all hear that too? So just start doing it. Stop fighting it. If it's working, it's working, period. And there's the Bible verse. It's Ecclesiastes 11:6. And where's it at? I was going to read y'all that. And it's actually even biblical that you start, you know, announcing your seeds, sowing those seeds. But once again, you can't just write it down. You've got to go take the action steps to make it happen. But Ecclesiastes 11:6 says, sow your seed in the morning, and at the evening, let your hands not be idle. Therefore, you're going to have to go do the work. You're going to have to put your hands to work at it. But I want you to sow it in the morning. Tell me what you want in the morning. Write it down, pray over it. After you write it down, pray over it out loud to him, and then put your hands to work in the evening. So you're going to have to do the work, okay? For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do well, will do equally well. But anyway, so he will bring, where's it at? I lost it. I'm on my Bible app and I just scrolled way too far up. Anyways, it talks about how God will bring the rain to water your seeds, but you have to plant them and you have to, you know, take care of that harvest, and he will bring the rain for you to help them harvest. But you should wake up in the morning, you know, put your seeds in the ground, essentially, write them on that paper. That's you putting them on the ground. Write them on your paper, you know, as if they've already happened. Pray over them, speak life over them, and then in the evening or in the afternoons, go do the work to make them happen, and then he will bring the rain so that they can grow. And you never know what he's going to put his hand to, so do all the things. You don't know if it's going to be a distributor, so make sure you're not leaving out DT things. You don't know if that day it's going to be a customer, so do all the customer things. Everything is full circle, you guys. We don't give you a task list just because we think that you can pick and choose. It's all full circle, and you never know what he's going to let, you know, be harvested out of the work that you put in. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And then at nighttime, if in addition to that, you will go in, keep a journal by your bed or something, so that at nighttime after the day is over, you can go in and write things that you are grateful for or positive things that happened in your day. And that's going to help your mindset so much, especially on the hard days when you don't sign a customer or a distributor, or whenever you're getting a ton of no's or life is just happening, you know, like it feels like your whole world fell apart because you had an emergency pop up and you didn't get to do something on your business you wanted to do, or just X, Y, and Z. It'll be a really good habit for you to get into, especially for those days, for you to sit down at night before bed and write down at least 1 to 2 things that happened in your day that were positive and that you're grateful for. Write down your gratitude. It could be something as simple as, I'm so glad that I got a load of dishes done. That's going to help your mindset so much better. Go from looking at the negative, and you'll find in your day that you're looking for the positive in your day instead of just focusing on the negative. And you will start becoming more solution mindset, like have more of a solution mindset, because you know at the end of the night, you've got to have something positive to write down. So then your mind will automatically start getting into problem solving mode instead of woe is me, the day is just over mode. So that's a good habit to get into as well. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. Okay. So since you gave a Bible verse, I will give one too. And I actually had this on my notes. So it's 2 Corinthians 9:6. Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. So I want y'all to think about that for when you're doing your messaging. If you're messaging a very few amount of people, you're going to reap very few fruit. It's just like farming, you know? the bigger the crop, the bigger the harvest. That's the lingo, right? So just, just think about that. You are a farmer, basically. Your business, you're tending to your crop every single day. So just keep that in the back of your mind whenever you're sowing seeds, whenever you're planting your seeds, plant a lot. So you can, reap that harvest whenever the time comes. And also with okay, I just have to let this out because I was listening to, do y'all know who Rob Dyrdek is? The famous skateboarder, okay, professional skateboarder. Okay, so before I actually listened to Rob talk, I was like, oh, all I knew him from was Ridiculousness because it's literally on MTV 100% of the time. So I started listening to his podcast, and he said something today that was, well, from the podcast I listened to today, where he's like, the clearer your goal is, the faster you're going to get there. If you don't have a clear goal, it's going to take you forever to try to get there. So have a clear goal and a clear vision for where you want to go, so that you can go speed fast. Otherwise, you're like kind of all over the place. And how Becca was saying about journaling, you guys, one of my favorite things to do is journal. And I always talk about it on my story. It's really helped me a lot. And I actually it brings me joy to bust out my sparkly journal every day. But what I like to journal is my gratitude. And this doesn't have to take very long, but my gratitude. And I do kind of like a little brain dump where I'm like, okay, what's on my mind that I have to get done for my home? And what's on my mind that I have to get done for my business or that I want to accomplish today. And so when I get it out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to help so-and-so finish out her 4-in-1. I'm going to close out. This is what I need to close out a 4-in-1 today. Like, don't give yourself till Friday. Give yourself to the very day to close it out. So if it's Tuesday, you're going to try to close it out on Tuesday. Don't give yourself so many days to try to close out one 4-in-1 when you can get 2 closed out by Friday. Okay. So, but even if you don't have time, maybe you're like, Terry, Becca, I get you, journal, put my affirmations out there, but maybe you're like, I'm either not willing to make the time or I'm just so busy that I'm just not going to do it. I know myself. Look in the mirror, or while you're doing things, while you're brushing your teeth, while you're washing your face, God or whoever you believe in, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you for giving me, the shelter. Thank you for the food on our table. Just living in gratitude throughout your whole entire day is just going to bring more abundance into your life, because it's like, and I think we might have mentioned this, but like when you have your kids and they're asking you for stuff and they're not even taken care of or, grateful for what they have, you don't want to give them more. You're like, no, well, you're going to learn to play with your toys before I buy you more, because you're not playing with the ones you have, and it's the same thing. You just got to be grateful for what you already have to bring on more of what you need or what you want. And don't be afraid to ask. It's not selfish for you to ask for more in life. Okay. A lot of this is like trauma that we might carry from childhood, or little habits we picked up from like our parents and stuff. But it is not bad for you to ask for more. Like literally God wants you to have more. He's literally like, okay, ask me. It's like, you never know when your kid's like, hey, I want this. Hey, I want that. Hey, I want that. You want to give it to him or her, you want to give it, like ask for it. Don't be afraid to journal that down. And like Becca said, write as if it already happened. And one thing I like to do also is, let's say, because I want to rent a home. Okay. Our plan is not to buy a home right now. Like we want to rent a home and then build. Like I want acres. I already told you about my mini cows that I want to buy. Like I want to rent a home. So what did I do? I went on Google and I was like, okay, houses for rent. So I can get an idea of where I would like to live, how much money I need to pay my bills every month. How much would the rent be? We actually talked today, Leo and I, about how cool would it be to live in Mexico for like a year. I'm like, that would be pretty cool. Like if we still have our place here, we can rent out, like continue paying, and then also be able to rent a home in Mexico for a year to have our kids learn our culture. And actually, like, what better? I mean, we already homeschool them, so we can homeschool them there, so, and I can work from there. So I was like, how cool would that be to go and live there for a year? And I I started going to looking for houses for rent. I was like, okay, homes for rent in Monterrey or wherever we're planning to go. And so just to get that vision wider and bigger, because honestly, before this business, you guys, I didn't have big goals. Like, how are you guys feeling? Are you feeling like this business has helped you kind of look, be like, okay, I don't know why I was hoping to like, maybe live here if I can live over here, or I can have that kind of house instead of a little tiny house, or like, hopefully this business has helped you guys open up that vision a little more. But okay, Becca,
Carrie, have you went and licked the leather? That's the term for it on your houses that you're talking about. Do you know what that means?
no.
Okay, so Pam Souter, I've always called it like the leather because that's what Pam Souter always said. And so whenever you have something big like a house or like a dream car or something like that that's on your dream board, she's always said she encourages you to go, like if it's a house, go take a tour of one of like the one that you really want. Just go take a tour and walk through it. Because that's going to drive you. There's something different about like looking at pictures of it and flipping through and maybe like print them off. But then if you just actually go experience that, man, it'll drive me so much more. And she was talking about how she wanted a car and she went and literally sat in the car at the dealership and literally that's where the term comes from, licked the leather. Like she wanted to taste the car. She wanted to feel the car. She wanted to pretend she was driving the car. She took it for a test drive, like all the things. So if it's a house that is on your dream board, go take a tour.
Yeah, you know what? We did that a couple years ago. And Leo and I love to do that stuff. So that's definitely going to be something. And we love to like drive around different neighborhoods and look to see what's for rent. And like, I definitely have been meaning to do that. And also a vehicle. That's how he got his collection, this big ass Star Wars collection, because he would just go and look and now it's freaking massive. And we have a Joker figure coming in that's super expensive. But okay, anyways, let me change the subject because then he's going to take over the Zoom. Okay. Let's move on. But yeah, that's a good idea. I need to do that.
Definitely, you guys go. If it's a big thing, if it's something more than like I want to have this much money, obviously there's not a way for you to hold that much money right now until you get it. But if it's something like that that is something you can hold in your hands, go do it. If it's a phone, go to the phone store and hold that phone in your hand. If it's an iPad or a laptop or whatever, something physical that you can put in.
I did that today. Dude, we went to Best Buy and I went to look at the iPad minis because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this one in pink before my birthday.
I love that. Go back and take you a selfie of holding it and tell people like I'm shooting for a goal. This is gonna be mine coming home with me in a few days. Watch it happen.
No, dude. Journey. I've had that. That's what I do. Yeah, I know that's what you do. He had a big TV too. No, but I've done that with an iPad. If you go look back on my Instagram, like timeline, you'll see me in front of an iPad before I got my big ass iPad, but now I want a little one. But okay, going back to the money thing, let's carry that along too, because you know how a lot of us want a lot of money, but it's like maybe we're not good at using and spending our money right now. Maybe we're not being good stewards of our money. Did you know that even just practicing it with $1, okay, take $1 and have like a little savings jar so that your subconscious mind, and I want to start doing this too, so that your subconscious mind starts getting used to thinking, I'm good at saving money. I'm good at stewarding my money well. So take $1, take however much percentage of that dollar that you want to start saving, like in your finances. So like, let's say maybe it's 30% or whatever, 30 cents goes in a jar. So now you're saving money. Okay. Like just start those little small practices and that can change so much for your finances, because then you're thinking of yourself as a responsible, financially savvy.
I love that. That's even something like that I've always thought to tell my kids, like you can spend part of it, but put the other part back. So I don't know why I don't do that for myself. Right. It just burns a hole in my pocket, really.
I know, I love to spend money. We're spenders. We love to buy stuff.
I know, like, give me all the things.
Yeah. Okay. Leo's gonna step into the Zoom. If
yeah, go for it.
It's true. He's just said because it gives you the confidence to spend more money. Because it's true if you to make more money. To make more money to be able to spend more. Like you just upgrade your life, and yeah, just make more. make more.
I love that. How in the world do you have a Boss Fuel cup? This is
I bought
so
the kit.
topic. I'm with a kit. I'm about to listen. How do I re-sign up?
They have the kit
I
for
want
sale.
one. But anyways, okay. So on to the next topic. I was gonna say, I have this written down. Are you interested or are you invested? Was my question to ask you guys. So ask yourself that question. Are you just interested? I heard this the other day and it's so good. Are you just interested in making this successful? Like, are you still like on the fence? Like, I'm not sure if this is gonna happen. Maybe I can make $20. Maybe I won't be successful. Like, do you have a plan B? Are you just interested in seeing how it goes? Or are you invested in your future? Like, do you know what you're going after and you know that this is your plan A and it's do or die? Are you interested or are you invested? So real quick, I want somebody to come off of a volunteer. I don't care who it is, volunteer, and we're going to help you guys learn how to figure out your why. Because this is really going to tell you whatever you say, whether you're interested or whether you're invested. And we're going to help break it down and figure out a way to help motivate you, okay, to start getting your stuff done. So who's my volunteer?
I don't mind being the guinea pig because my team has already heard, but then we can move on to someone else. But like, I'll be the guinea pig to break the ice.
Okay, so, cool.
Okay.
Okay. So
yeah, go ahead.
What is your why? Why are you doing this?
So before, my why was because we got to pay bills and I want to keep my hubby home. Okay. And then I was going to go in and share about what I found out at conference when I FaceTime my son. Okay. So my team has already heard this. I believe all of you who are on my team have heard this, but I was at conference and they announced bonuses and I FaceTime my kids and I was like, you guys, mommy's going to go triple diamond. Okay. I'm going to go triple diamond. And my son goes, mommy, because this whole entire time we've said that when I go double diamond, my husband, well, we're Mexican married, okay? Like we're basically married because we live together and we've lived together for a long time. But we want to make it legal, you know, like marriage license and all. And then we want to file adoption papers and name changes for our kids. So I was telling my kids how I'm going to go triple. And Davian, our little one, our boy, he goes, mommy, does that mean, because he's like, you have to go double to go triple, right? Does that mean that I get to change my last name? And I'm over here like, here I am thinking money signs of going triple when he's like, wow, like it's just, that's our why. That's my why. You know what? I have to make the money to be able to legally go through the whole adoption / name change. That's the real why behind everything, you know? And of course, making money to pay our bills, but like the emotion, okay? Not just thinking like money signs, like attach the emotion. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Bingo. Bingo. And so I would say that she's committed. She's not just interested, she's invested because she now has a feeling that she's invested, like she's tied it to. She has an investment. Okay, who's going to be our guinea pig past Terry? There can be more than one of you. Not everybody speak up at once now. Okay.
We'll just pick someone.
They're fighting.
Brittany, were you raising your hand, Brittany? Oh, okay. She was. Brittany.
Unmute, babe. It won't let you? Huh, let me find you. Okay, I just asked you to unmute.
Thank you, because I'm actually driving, so I'm trying to do two things at once, and I'm like, it's not letting me unmute.
Okay, so anyway, what is your why?
My why is I am a sign language interpreter for a school district, and I want to come home, and I am tired of driving 145 minutes an hour and 45 minutes every day one way just to get to work, because the school district where I live doesn't pay enough for an interpreter and I travel to a different school district. So I want to come home and I want to take my wife on a cruise for an actual honeymoon so we can actually have one. We've been married this year will be 4 years and have not taken a honeymoon.
Okay. So do you have a plan B to be able to take her on a honeymoon? Like, do you have a deadline for when you're wanting to make it happen?
There is not a deadline. I am invested. In the end of April will be a year that I've been in the business. And I said I was going to give it a year, and I haven't made it to where I've been successful enough to make that I say I'm not a quitter. And so just because I haven't hit the success that I've wanted yet doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue, and I plan on continuing.
Okay. So I would first, if it was me and Terry, I know is your upline, right? So she can correct me. No, you'll
No, we're
okay.
well, her adopted upline. We're both her adopted upline. She's
okay.
working like we were.
Okay.
I'm
well,
the adopted.
You're gonna get some of what my team gets, and if I overstep, I'm sorry, but I love you and I'm a little bit red, so don't let me come off as rude. But anyways, okay, so I would recommend setting yourself a timeline, because honestly, it's been 4 years, and so if you don't have a timeline, it's gonna be 10 years. It's not gonna happen. You've got to set yourself a timeline, first of all, and secondly, if it's not a plan B, so you've been here for a year, if it's not a plan B, then you need that timeline desperately. Give yourself, and don't give yourself another year. You don't get another year to take her on a honeymoon. How important is that to you? Is that truly important to you though? Like,
yes.
Okay. Yes. Why is that so important?
Why is that so important? Because we've always had people living with us, and it would actually be alone time. And
okay.
that is just something, so just having the freedom to go do as we want, when we want, and it's just how we are. We put everybody else first before us, whether it's my parents, whether it's my sisters and my nephews and nieces and everybody else. We put everybody first before us. Okay. And so it is about damn time that we actually take care of ourselves and do something for us.
Okay, so I don't think that your why is a honeymoon. I think that your why is time.
I think it's being on your own.
Yeah.
But that honeymoon will make us on our own.
Yeah. I think.
And where would you like to go? Like, where's your honeymoon going to be? Have you looked into that? How much would it cost?
Going on a cruise to Europe.
How much would that cost you?
It is $6,200.
Okay, do you guys have passports?
She does. I'm working on mine.
Okay.
I literally sent off my stuff for it.
Okay, so you could literally make $5,200 if you put your head down and work. I would say you can make $5,200 in the next like 3 months tops, 90 days. You can make $5,000 in 90 days. Look at all the bonuses. Give yourself 90 days. I'm serious. Don't give yourself a long timeline. Give yourself 90 days. Put your head down and work, and don't have excuses. Like that means like, what do you take a Sabbath? Do you take a day off?
I do a little bit of stuff every day.
Okay. I know that Terry doesn't recommend this, honestly, but she should, because it worked really good for her the one time that she took a Sabbath. So she needs to just do it. Stop fighting it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll share a little bit after you share.
Okay. But except for whatever day that you choose to take off, you should be working all of those days. How many hours a day do you work?
At my full-time job or the business? My business, it's at least 2 hours every day.
Okay. Have you set an alarm and or not an alarm, but a timer while you're doing your task to see if it's really 2 hours or if you're scrolling?
No, I have set timers.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I was going to say, if not, I would set some timers, because I know a lot of times I can get like on a 2-hour time span, especially when my business isn't moving. I'll say I'm working 2 hours, but really I scroll or I'm making content or something like that during that time. And that's not really work hours. That's like the extracurriculars, you know? So
right. My longest time is the follow-up with calendar and inbox cleanup. That's where I spend most of my time.
Okay.
Because during the week, because it's on the Fridays and the weekends, because those are like my days that I have off from my full-time job interpreting, that I can send out everybody's messages, and I have some follow-ups that I get when people respond back, but then I do the full part of it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say the purpose of this was to find your why. And I'm going to say that your why, from what I heard you say, it's time, having that time back with your wife, which is something that money really can't buy. But it would be a start for you guys to be able to take your honeymoon. Like that would be a stopping point along the way of getting that freedom from your job so you can have more time. That would be a stopping point. So I would give yourself 90 days to get that out of the way. But that's not your end of the day why, because that's something that you can achieve in the next 90 days, and then you're going to be stuck because you don't have anything past that. So
Does your wife
true
work?
But
why-
I thought your why is supposed to change as it goes, but that is my why at this moment in time.
Right. Well,
That
that's
is
a
my
smaller-
ultimate.
That's like a dream board thing, though. Taking
don't do
a
dream boards.
cruise is like a dream board type thing. It's something that we can check off really easy. That's kind of like her thing with her house, like buying a new house. That's like a thing that she can check off of her to-do list. But at the end of the day, her real why is that emotion she has attached to her child. So you have more emotion attached to the time that you'll have with your wife, right? So it's not really the cruise ship, it's the time that you have with her. That's what
Like
I
the
do
thing-
anyway.
Yeah, the thing she means basically, oh, mi amor, Kiana just texted, is like you have you heard does your why make you cry?
Right.
So a cruise, if you don't go on a cruise, you're not gonna cry. It's gonna be like, oh, okay, it's not like a dire need.
Right.
You know?
But if your wife passed away tomorrow, and this is where I come in harsh,
Yes.
you would be crushed because you never worked enough to
Gotcha.
get the time with her. So the time is your why.
And it can, I mean, if that's your goal to go on a cruise, set, like Becca said, set a timeline. Like, okay, we're gonna go on a cruise and tell your wife, have her hold you accountable. Like you said you were taking me on a cruise on this month, this year. I'm waiting. I'm shopping. I'm Amazon shopping for my swimsuit, whatever it's gonna be. Like, make it so clear that you're like, I have no way to get out of this. You said $5,200, right?
62.
62. Okay, 6,200.
I heard 52 too, but I still think you could do that in 90 days. Look at the bonuses, and I can't open my mouth and say what's coming next month, but I'm telling you, when you hear it, oh girl, oh Brittany, you're on the list. I'm gonna be watching you when they make these announcements, because although it's not,
I know, I had to shut my
but it's
mouth.
along the lines, and you're gonna be like, you better have you and your wife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, let's not say too much.
Okay.
Let's not say too much.
Woo,
But
girl,
what I
just
was
got
gonna
hyped up. The
say,
connection.
yeah, what I was gonna say, Brittany, is $6,200. Okay, drop a number 1 in the chat if you have earned a $150 fast start bonus. A number 1 if you've earned it, or if you've gotten so close that you're like, I could have done it if I would have worked harder.
And number
Okay.
2,
Brittany, you don't have to put a 1 if you're driving. You can just say 1. Okay. So $6,200, right? That's what you need for a cruise with your wife. Do you know that if you helped 18 people earn 1 tier 1 bonus, $150, you would have that amount of money? Because every person, you help 18 people, okay, 18 people earn $150, that pays you out $350. 18 times $350, that's $6,300. There's your cruise money. A lot of times we have this goal, but we don't know how to get there, and maybe we just need it simplified. And that's not even counting the tier 1s you're gonna make,
or your
the one-
paychecks.
or your commission.
Yeah.
So,
And if you had 18 people, girl, you could be diamond, making $2,000 a month.
oh yeah.
So
And let me just say you have an advantage because It Works doesn't pay your bills, right? It's just extra. Okay. So
it pays for my fuel. It's paying for my fuel.
oh, that's good. That's really good. But even then you can make so much more, and you already have that advantage where you can worry about, okay, yeah, you're working full time. So right now this is like side income where you can fully focus on working, putting all that stashed away as a savings and having your cruise money. And then later, if that's a priority to you, then it's a priority to you. But after that, then you can say, okay, like what's next? Do I like my job? Because I talked to a girl, one of my new girls, And she was telling me she works, she's going for real estate, and she's going to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, do you like your job? Because what if you could quit that job? I'm not telling you to quit it now, but what if you could quit that job and not have to worry about working it and just make this like your full-time income that's covering that and making you more? She's like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So you might
I'm working on getting deaf DTs, so that way I can still interpret and still sign. So that way I could get out of the school district.
That'd be good too.
Okay, so do you feel like you've had, like, you understand your why and like some good goals now, or did it help at all? Okay. Does anybody else want to volunteer? We have time for somebody else if y'all want to.
Everyone's so excited to go. We're gonna pick a.
All right, I'm picking Joni. All right, Joni, unmute. Is it not letting you? Hold on, let me find
Okay.
my roster.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so my why, my main why is so I can, quit my job, have more freedom, and do what God has called me to do more than just my day-to-day job.
Okay.
And then my other part was also I'm going to put in my own doggy daycare, and so I'll have something to fall back onto.
Okay. So here, plan B, first of all, fall back on. Your doggy daycare could be extra, but I don't want you to have a plan B.
Okay.
It can be the stepping stones to get you your dream job, because it's the stepping stones for a lot of people to get their dream job. But the word fall back on tells me that it's a plan B option. Sorry, I've got a toddler on my lap, as y'all can see. But anyway, so hold on, Daddy. Daddy's trying to play with her while she's in my lap. But anyway, what was I saying? I'm sorry, Joni. Let me mute and get her taken care of, and we'll let Terry help you for 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, Joni. So I don't know you, so this is gonna be interesting. So this is another leader that's gonna come at you, and I'm more of a yellow, but I can be red if I need to. So, okay, girl. So you're telling us that you would like to have more time, right? More time. Quit your job.
Yeah, a little bit more freedom so I can do more like what God has called me to do, like with pregnancy resource centers and, more with my church and stuff like that.
Okay. And do you feel, okay, let's talk about this. Do you feel like you believe you can do it?
I struggle with that a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to tell you guys, and all of you, not just you, Joni, but self-confidence, you have to be confident, okay? But self-confidence comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. And that can be as little as, I'm going to send out 50 messages today. Like, keeping those little promises, because once you send those out, you're like, heck yeah, I'm a boss, like I'm going to send 50 more because I did it. And I feel more confident in my ability to work to be able to make that happen. You can go, Becca, if you.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off a minute, Joni. A minute ago. And then I can't talk anyway. But anyway, so by now you're used to her interruptions, because she's interrupted me all day while every time I try to talk to Joni today, y'all, Ellie interrupts. So anyway, but what I was saying is that that's a plan B option. It can be a stepping stone to getting you there. But if your real why is, you said freedom, right? Time or whatever, then that is, why do you want time? That's where I would start. I would let the doggy daycare, that's like a dream board thing that you can check off and use the business as a stepping stone to get there, but not have it as a plan B. That's extra. That's just like the girls in our business, the uplines that y'all hear talk about. They used this business as a way to start doing investment properties. The investment properties weren't their plan B. This was, though, a stepping stone to help them get there. They didn't quit this just because they have investment properties, but that's just creating even more residual income that they can pass down to grandkids, children, etc. it's a good stepping stone so that you can start having the flowing income. And your doggy daycare, is that what we called it? No. Yes. Anyway.
Yes, doggy daycare.
I'm sorry. My brain is everywhere. That can be something that can be passed down as well, because that's a business that you would be starting that could be passed down, to your kids and grandkids and stuff like that. Whereas It Works is harder to pass down. So for yours, I would say that that's like a dream board thing to check off.
Right.
But your goal is the freedom. Your why is the freedom. And why do you want to be free? Why do you want to have some more time?
So that I'm freed up more so I can do what God has called me to do.
Okay. And like, how important is that to you? Like, is it something that is going to push you on the days that it's hard? Is it something that, like, on the days where you, and this is where I come in harsh, because I say this to myself too, and I'm sure you've heard me say it before, but on the days where you don't feel like staying up a little bit longer to get your task list done, that you would be like, sorry, God, your vision for my life isn't important enough for me to stay up an extra hour. Is it something that important to you that you could check yourself with, or no?
I know that's hard to say.
That is hard to say, but that's where you have to really dig a little bit deeper. Like, okay, I want to be able to do what God has called me to too. I truly have in my heart that I feel that He wants me to be able to start a nonprofit to help other women that have stillborn babies. Okay. And that's what I feel that He's called me to do. And so I know that this business can be a stepping stone to that. And this is going to sound so bad, but we're just got to be honest and be real, okay? It's not something that pushes me as hard. Like, I would easily say, oh gosh, this is where I sound bad in my faith. But I would easily say, I'm sorry, but starting that new nonprofit you want me to start, God, isn't important enough for me to stay up an extra 2 hours. And what He's calling me to do should be important enough, like religious wise, but I'm not a perfect human, okay? But what does push me is telling my kids that they're not worth it. Because I've been in a situation before where I've had to say no to a stupid $20 baby doll. Okay. I've been in a position before where I thought we were going to, lose our home and stuff because I couldn't afford the bills. Going and telling my kids that staying up an extra hour isn't worth them having a roof over their head, water running, or, getting to have a Christmas, because that's where the $20 baby doll came into play. That is something that will keep me up at night, because I ain't telling my babies that they ain't worth enough. That sounds bad that I would say it to God, but I won't say it to my kids. But that's me as a human. So that's where you have to dig deeper and figure out, what is it? Is the time part of it really your husband, maybe? Or having more time with your kids? Because I know you like to travel to see your kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is the time part of it? Because if that's not something that without a doubt is going to keep you pushed and keep you going, then there's something else.
Can I step in really quick?
Yes.
Okay, so Joni, since you're a big woman of faith, I want to tell you something that I read on a book. I think it was a book. I can't remember what book it was or if it was a podcast. But did you know, or have you ever thought about it this way, that you actually doing your work is worshiping the Lord, because he's brought you to this kind of industry to do the work that others aren't willing to do. So if you want to worship Him as a good, worker, as He calls us to work, you got to do your stuff. You got to work your business, because He's called you to here. For now, He's called you here. Another thing, guys, I don't know if we all have spouses, but if you all have a spouse, and if that spouse of yours is mostly your sole provider in your household, God forbid something happens to your spouse, what the heck are you going to do? What are you going to do? Okay. And you have no business. None of us on here have no business struggling if we have an opportunity like this in our life. We've heard time and time again, anyone can come in here being homeless to making over $10,000 a month with this opportunity, doing host to post. Y'all, why are we playing? Why are we playing with our lives? Why are we wasting day by day on putting stuff off that we can do today, putting it off till tomorrow, till next week, and then crying because we're struggling over paying a bill or losing stuff? Like, we have no business doing that. So I don't know if that helped you guys realize, but like I know when Leo was working construction, working states away or whatever, I was like, this man, his ego is so big that he will not let anyone drive but him. And he almost crashed a couple times because he almost like drove into something or like drove out. You know, I didn't want him doing that. I mean, I don't know if you guys have, you know, husbands that drive truck or whatever you do or whatever your husband does. But if he's your sole provider, I'm going to tell you this, and my grandma would tell me this. Don't just have one income. Don't just rely on their income. Okay? Have a backup. Have extra money coming in for you, for your family, for your kids. But honestly, like, I just want to, like, I feel bad putting that into perspective, but how many times, like, do we see it on mom groups everywhere where they're either being abused and they don't want to leave because they have no work experience and they have kids to take care of, or their spouse dies and they don't even know how to pay the bills, or they don't know how they're going to do it, how they're going to support their kids. Don't let that be you. And do this now so that you can prevent anything bad happening. Okay? And worst case scenario, you take your spouse out on a trip or put more money down for a down payment or whatever. But don't let this pass by. Okay, I'm done, Becca. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I agree with that. You guys, the reason I told y'all to bring a pen and paper is because everybody needs to figure out what their why is. And if you think that you're stuck on it, reach out to Terry or I, and we will help you. But at the end of the day, you have to, you know, be able to decipher, is this something that's like, is there a plan B around it? And if there's not a plan B around it, is it strong enough that I'm willing to push for it? And when I say push for it, I mean like on the hard days, on the days, because y'all, life happens. Okay. When I was going diamond, there was a lot of days that I had to like, I'm so glad I had a strong why, because if I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have worked. My grandmother passed away while I was going diamond. I had to push through a funeral. I had to push through visitation. I had to push through, you know, the whole loss. Like I literally was working on her funeral day because I knew I had to go diamond because I was having a baby and she needed me to provide that income. Otherwise I wasn't gonna be able to stay home with her anymore. I was gonna have to go back to work. And so figure out like on the days whenever life happens, say you have a death in the family. I'm not saying don't take off time like I did, but be able to push through. Don't let, if it's not something that's strong enough to get you back on track like the next day and keep you going, then it's not a why. It's not your why. Maybe it's a dream board thing, but it's not a why. It's a stepping stone to get you to, you know, your final goal, which for a lot of people I'm hearing tonight is time. Why do you need time? I know why she wants time. Brittany wants time with her wife. That's something you can't put a price tag on, but she's got to have a price tag to be able to get there. So she has stepping stones along the way that she's going to have to hit to be able to get that freedom. Joni wants to be able to, you know, fulfill her purpose spiritually. If that's something that's going to snap her back, then that is going to take money, because unfortunately the world takes money. So she's going to have money to provide those things, and she's going to have more time to make them happen. And so like Terry, her kiddo's last name, hers is her kid right now. And so yes, our why is always evolving, and it's always going to change, because I mean our lives change every 90 days anyway. Something in your life changes, even if it's small, whether it's small or a big shift, something is always changing. So your why is always going to be evolving, but your why should always, whether it's, you know, evolving or not, it should always be something that pushes you. If you can find a plan B to make it happen, that's not your why. If you can go to sleep and not push for it, then that's not a strong why. Maybe it's a why, but it's not a very good one at all. So you need to evolve and change. Go for it.
Uncle Leo started preaching to me while you were talking.
Yes.
Because he made a very good point. And he's cooking right now because he's my honey. He's at home. He's our dinner maker, our chef, personal chef. But and Terry knows like how Uncle Leo can get, because he's made her cry before, calling her out on her stuff. But he does it. He's very caring. He's like a big teddy bear, but rare. Okay. So he's like, okay, how, like, it's true. we pretty much all have had jobs, right? And we're given like a to-do list, like you do this or you can leave. And we get it done. We don't go to work and tell them, no, I don't want to do it. Because we respect our boss. We're like, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to complete it because it's my job and I'm going to respect my boss.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. You just do it. You see, he's like, the reason why you have a to-do list, you're your own boss, but you're like, oh, I'm not going to do it. That's because you don't respect yourself. You don't respect yourself enough to complete it. Uncle Leo, don't play. I love him for being straight up red. No, he is very red, and he will make you all cry. He's made me cry plenty of times. But it's true. How many times do we not complete our tasks because, oh, the day got too busy, or, you know, we're just like, oh, 10 messages is enough, you know, for now. I'll start tomorrow fresh. And then we don't. We're losing respect for ourselves, and it's true. And we don't consider ourselves important or bosses for our business. We really don't. Because we're so used to being told what to do. We are. A lot of us are so used to being told what to do. And even then, since we know we can get away with not doing it because we just report to ourselves, we just don't do it. And it's not okay, you guys. It's not freaking okay. That's why we struggle. And that's why we don't consider ourselves business owners. And I know a lot of you on here don't consider yourself a business owner. Why do I know that? Because I've struggled with that in the past 6 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels different to say that. But it's true. You have to consider yourself as a business owner. And I know a lot of you, okay, here's the thing that sucks. Becca and I as your leaders, Ashley, you know, us as your leaders, we know your whys. We've heard your stories. And we have our own whys that we're fighting for. But what sucks is when we want it more for you than you even want it for yourself. Yeah, we hear it. We hear the tears. We hear the cries. We hear the struggles. And we're over here like, girl, if you would just work your fucking business, I'm sorry. Like, if you would just actually work it. Like, come on. What do you need? What more do you need in front of you? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm about to get like a mother hen over here all freaking pissed off because I know a lot of, you know, I know my team. I know Becca knows her team. Like, with this opportunity that we have, like I said, we have no business struggling. And a lot of times we're like knowledge on ice. We're, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but we know what we need to do every day. We know. You can come to me for coaching. You can go to Becca for coaching, Ashlyn for coaching. You can come to us for coaching, but we're going to tell you straight up, okay, are you getting your messages out? Are you adding new people? Are you doing the reels and TikTok? And you already know. You can come to us and be like, what do I need to do? Terry, what do I need to do? I need this amount of money. Okay, do this, this, and this daily. Here's your task list. And don't just settle there. Like, use your time wisely and do more of it. But you know you need to do it. You just don't do it. And then you're wondering why it's been years and you're still where you are. Like, you guys, come on. Okay, like, I don't know what we need to do to wake ourselves up right now. Because y'all have been very quiet. And let me just tell you, the way that you're going to grow as a leader and like as yourself is by speaking up, by showing up. Okay, like, that's the only way you're going to grow in this and in life in general. So I just want you guys to know, like, we're here to support you, not to, okay, so this is a word, little change in words that I learned from Lori. You don't say you're going to help someone, okay? You are going to support them. Because when you're telling someone, oh, I'll help you with that, you're taking upon the responsibility of getting it done for them. So we are no longer here to help you. We're here to support you. Okay, we're here to support you in giving you the resources, in, yeah, supporting you in the conversations and stuff. But ultimately, you guys, we are not, like, we all are grown women and we have our own businesses, our own families that we need to take care of. Okay, I'm done.
I agree with all of that. And you guys, y'all, we see so much inside of you. Like, the minute that you hit submit And those of you that have signed up distributors before know that the minute you hit submit, you see inside them what they can do. You know that they can go get their first 4 customers in their distributor. Like, you see their capabilities. And we see the same thing in you as you're advancing to Ruby and Executive and Emerald and Diamond and all the things. We see that inside of you. Before you ever see it in yourself, we see it and we believe in you. And it's so gut-wrenching as your leaders whenever you don't believe in yourself and so you don't hit those. Like she said, we're here to cheer you on. I'm here to support you and, you know, do whatever you need me to do along the way, because I want to see you guys rise. It's not cool to be alone in earning bonuses or, you know, having good paychecks and being able to post like, oh, I got this, or I done this for myself, or that's not fun. I mean, it's great. Pat on the back, congratulations. But have you ever heard that once you get to the top, it's lonely if you're by yourself and you don't have people with you? I don't want to be up there at Ambassador and be by myself. I want to be with those of you that I have grown with and been in the valleys with, and we've come up and dug through the trenches together. So I don't want to know that I went and got the customers and I placed them and I did this, that, and something else and got up there by myself. I want to grow with you, because our success story as a team is going to be better if it's done together. Not an I thing, it's an us thing, it's a we thing. And we know that you guys can get to Ruby, and we know that y'all can get to Emerald. You just have to start believing in yourself, and you have to start investing in yourself, and you have to start treating yourself like you already are those things. Like I was saying last night, you're already a Ruby. What does a Ruby do? A Ruby opens their business every freaking day by posting on their stories and their social media pages. A Ruby goes and asks a minimum of 20 people if they want to do the business with her every day. A Ruby finds at least 10 new conversations to get in about customers every day, whether that's their host to post, cold messages, stories, it doesn't matter. She finds her people to talk to. Stephanie Dunn is not at the top because she doesn't talk to people every day. She doesn't go to bed until she's talked to at least 10 new DTs every single day, at least 10 minimum. And she's an ambassador. She could just go to bed at night and not do it. But she stays at the top, and she's constantly number one in the business because she holds things it's a priority to her to get those things done. And so you've got a black diamond. Did I call her an ambassador? She at the top of the company, y'all. Don't listen to me. Anyway, she's number one. And we are all blessed enough to be under her and be able to follow in those footsteps. So we can all do the same thing. But you have to start showing up as what you want to be before you're going to become that. And you've got to stop whining and giving yourself excuses and having an out and this, that, and something else. You've got to start investing in your mindset, investing in your business, and treating it like a business, because some of you have been treating this like a hobby for way too freaking long. Some of you have been doing this for 3 months or more and haven't gotten anywhere. And that's no fault but your own. And I say that with all the love in the world, but it's no fault but your own. If a brand new distributor can come into the business and make a $150 bonus, then there's no reason why a distributor that's been in for 2 months or more shouldn't be making a $150 bonus minimum every single month as well. You've got to set that standard for yourself. You've got to. Your team is never going to outwork you, ever. They are only going to do about half of what you do. So if you're not even getting the 4-in-1s every month, then your team's probably not going to get their 4-in-1s whenever they join, and that's why they're quitting. That's why they're not working, because they're not seeing success. But they don't have an enroller that's doing the things either. You have to, like Ashlyn said, you have to commit to the process. If you fall short sometimes, that's okay. That's business. Like, there's gonna be valleys. That's just how business works. Welcome to entrepreneur world. But there's also uphill climbs. And whenever you're in those valleys, you have to keep pushing, because if you don't, your team's not, and then you're never going to get past executive if you even get there in the first place. Y'all can all do great things. There's stuff coming on the 1st that's going to blow your freaking minds. And some of you on the 1st, when it's announced, you're going to be like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get this, the amazing things that are being announced that I can't say. I'm going to get them. I'm doing it. I have a huge mouth, you guys. Anyways, don't get me talking, because I will open it. But y'all are going to be hyped up. Y'all are going to be so hyped. And then y'all are going to be pissed because at the deadline, you're not going to make it. And it's because you're not willing to pivot and change your habits. And you're going to have nobody but yourself to blame. And that if I don't make it, I'm the same way. I'm going to have to pivot. I'm going to stop. I'm going to have to stop because for a week, not 2 weeks, for a week now, I have been giving myself, oh, well, it was spring break last week. So I didn't get up at 5 a.m. on spring break. That's stupid as HE double hockey sticks. What a lame excuse. I'm a business owner. And I am not at a level to where I can afford to take a spring break. Okay. You feel me? I ain't there yet. One day I'll be there, but I ain't there yet. Hallelujah. Okay. So, and then this week I didn't get up at 5 a.m. either. And all week I was like, well, it's okay because I'm getting back into routine. Hell no. I need to get my booty up. Otherwise, I ain't going to be making it. I'm going to be straggling behind and crying my eyes out because I fell short, but it ain't nobody's fault but my own because I didn't get up and get the things done. And so you've got to hold yourself accountable. You have to. You have to set a standard high for yourself and shoot for it. If that's getting up early, if that is what's going to work for you, and I'm telling you it's going to work for you, just y'all got to get over it and start getting up early, okay? Got to get over it. Successful people get up early. They get up before the sun, okay? It's even biblical that you get your booty up early, okay? Early risers, you've got to start. And you've got to start turning your business on at least 6 days out of the week. You've got to start setting goals for yourself, weekly goals, not I want to get a 4-in-1 this month, because guess what, sister? It's going to be the end of the month and you're going to be struggling for that last customer. And then you're going to be ticked off if you don't get it. You've got to set weekly goals. I'm getting a 4-in-1 this week. And then next week, I'm helping that one get her 4-in-1. Or I'm going to get this much volume this week and push every week like it's already month end. So the first to the whatever day is going to be the first week of that month. That is 1 week. And so in that 1 week, you should have completed your 4-in-1 right off the bat. That should be everybody's first goal. 4-in-1. And I want you guys to stopping there. Then go get you 2 extra distributors that next week while you're helping that one do their 4-in-1. So you're going to complete a 4-in-1, get $150 that first week. That second week, I want you to help that one get their 4-in-1. But while they're getting their 4-in-1, you go get 2 more. So then you're actually doing 4 and 3 that month. And you've also, while you were getting your 2 distributors, they were getting their 4-in-1. So there's $350. And it's not always going to be a piece of cake like that. It's not always going to be like every 7 days, everything happens that I set out. But you shoot high. You have to aim high so that you can get the shortfall stuff. But you have to do it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to. You're fine. You have to do it, you guys, in order to be able to confidently teach it. Why do you think it starts with us? We have to do 4-in-1. So then we can teach someone how to do 4-in-1. But if you're not doing the things that's going to take for you to earn a 4-in-1, then how do you expect to even have the confidence to teach someone? And that's where a lot of us struggle, right? Where it's like, well, I don't even think I can teach somebody to get a 4-in-1 because I haven't even done it. Well, yeah, but it's your own damn fault because you haven't done the work. And there is like always that, oh, well, I don't have a lot of people to talk to, blah, blah. Do the reels and TikToks. Post 5 times a day on reels and TikToks if you need to get some eyes on your posts, to get some eyes on your pages. But it's like, okay, I thought about this today because Stephanie Dunn earned 3 success bonuses this quarter. Do you think $9,000 motivates Stephanie Dunn when she makes a shitload of money every single month?
She probably like quadruple that every month, okay?
Dude, that does not motivate her, but she leads by example, okay? Like, we've had conversations with her. She's like excited to work. She loves this business, okay? And so in order to get to where she's at, you have to love what you do and fully live it out, because then you can tell others, hey, do this. It's just duplication, you guys. Learn how to do it, and teach others how to do it.
And don't wait until something happens so you can have a forced why on you.
Ooh, there you go.
There it is.
Okay, don't wait until something happens. Leo tells me this all the time. He's like, because we hear all those comeback stories, right? We hear all those comeback stories. I went bankrupt. I lost my house. I did this, or I ended up in the hospital, whatever. And then it's like, you have no other option but to make this work.
And that's your forced why.
And then that becomes your forced why. And he's told me time and time again, we don't have to lose everything. Please don't let us lose everything until you get your crap together, you know? So you guys, a lot of us, okay, and I'm going to be very vulnerable here. And I know we've gone a little over, but I'm going to be very vulnerable. Last summer, I had a moment where, and this is not going against anyone who has a job or whatever, but I've been home full time since 2017 when I got laid off. Okay. But so last summer I had, you know, the enemy attacking my mind, and I was telling Leo, I got fed up. We were struggling with like bills and all these things, and I'm like, I'm gonna just start applying for banks. I'm gonna submit my application. I was already updating you guys when I was telling you I'm crying here because all I've ever wanted was to be a full-time stay-at-home mom, because we're homeschooling our kids. I know what I can do when I actually use this business. So I was here feeling defeated because I was feeling so sick and tired of struggling when I've been here for years. Why am I struggling? You know, this was my mindset last year during the summer. And I was telling Leo, I'm like crying. We got in a little argument. I was, you know, typing up my resume, crying because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to apply for jobs, but I was willing to. And he comes in the room and he's like, what are you doing? And he closes my laptop and he's like, you can do this. You have this. You know what to do. What did I do? 1 month later, I had earned $1,900 in Fast Starts and gave us a pay raise. Okay? You guys, we have it right in front of us. I started showing up to the Zooms. I started doing the boosting my posts, messaging more people, offering the business an opportunity to everybody on Instagram, Facebook, doing the TikToks, doing the reels, hosted posts like crazy. You know what to do. Don't wait until something knocks you down to step it up.
Yeah.
Don't.
It's just a mindset shift, you guys. It literally is just a mindset shift.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You just have to make your mind up that you want it bad enough. And we have somebody on here I just want to shout out because she had a mindset shift. And now she's went from really dry enrollments for a little bit. She went from a dry season to where she was like, I don't know, she had a scared city mindset. She was scared to do a lot of things, had a lot of glass ceilings. And now Miss Joni is stepping out of her comfort zone. She's enrolled 2, or is it 3 customers in the past couple days? 2 customers in the past couple days. She is going to have a bomb paycheck coming. And so I'm really excited for her. She went in stories earlier, recorded and posted. She's learning TikToks. Like she's gonna be Ruby. Okay. And she's going to take full advantage of what's to come. So that's the difference in making up your mind. You have to just make up your mind and the stuff will start coming. You cannot have a negative mindset and keep thinking that you're going to get these goals. You cannot have a plan B in the back of your head or the doubts in the back of your head. The minute they come in, shoot them down and do not speak them out. Whatever you do not speak them out because there is life and death in the tongue and you will speak death over your business. Don't speak the negative stuff out. I don't even text in the chats. I don't even want to see the toxic crap. Do not text in the chat and say anything like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to Nah, bye. Don't say it. Don't type it. Don't nothing. You can think it. And then immediately when that thought comes, I want something positive to come out of your mouth and flip it and reverse it. Back it up, flip it and reverse it. Okay. Yep. Anyway. And then you are going to say like, if it's, I don't think I'm going to get the distributor. I am going to get the distributor. Not only am I going to get the distributor, but I'm going to get 2 distributors and it's going to be on a phone interview and I'm going to freaking crush it. She's going to be my BFF. Okay. Something positive. Flip it. It's just a mindset. We can give you all the tips. We can give you all the tools. We can give you all the encouragement. But at the end of the day, we can't make your hands work. We can't make the switch in your mind flip. Okay. And we sure as heck aren't going to drag you along if you don't want it as bad for yourself as we want it for you. Because I want to drag you. I really want to grab you by the hair of your head and drag you up the freaking mountain with me. But I'm carrying the weight of kids at home and a husband at home and a bunch of other girls that do want it. And so if that's you and you're dragging your heels and you're like, reach for me, I'm going to reach for you, but you're going to have to meet me halfway. Does that make sense? In a non-bitchy tone, like, pardon my French, but that's just how I mean it. Like, we want to help you. I want to see you succeed, but I have to see your feet move. I have to see that you really want it. You have to flip that mindset. Go for it.
And you guys, before we close out, I just want you guys to think of something, because okay, keeping it back to like simplicity, a 4-in-1 for the month. Let's say your goal is a 4-in-1 for the month. It shouldn't be, especially if you're trying to make big money, okay? But if you're like, I just want to make hobby money, maybe pay my light bill or a portion because mine came out super expensive. I don't know. Well, a 4-in-1 for the month, I always say I'm not good at numbers, but I had to break it down this way. A 4-in-1, that's 4 customers at 300 BV and 1 distributor. That's $150, right? $150 you make for the month. And like 300 in volume, you guys, that's like $30 in commission. Are you happy with that? Like, is a 4-in-1 for the month going to be your goal? Like, no, why? If you can make so much more, and it's a standard you set for yourself. I can't set it for you. Nobody but yourself is going to set that for you. So you have to decide, okay, my standard is going to be a 4-in-1 weekly. And that's going to push you. And you have to be, yes, find accountability buddies. Like, found an accountability friend. You can. But make sure that friend is not a venting friend. Okay? It shouldn't be someone that's like, girl, I know I suck, me too. Like, I haven't enrolled anyone. No.
No pity parties. If you're
No pity
accountability, you be red with each other. You call each other out on your BS. You motivate each other. No pity parties.
No.
No negative.
And if someone tries to bring that upon you, like, exit the chat. Do yourself a favor and exit the chat. Okay? You don't need anyone that's trying to pull you down. Like, what's that crab mentality thing where, like, you're trying to, like, level up and people keep pulling you down? Don't let that happen. Okay? But I just want you guys to think about it. Like, set the standard for yourself. What are you willing to set the standard to be for your business? For me, it's a 4-in-3 weekly. Okay. And if I don't hit that, I'm over here beating myself up because I know the level that I want to get to, I need it to be a 4-in-3. Now, don't set it to 4-in-3 if that's not your goal.
Right.
Okay. If you haven't even done a 4-in-1, set your standard to be 4-in-1 ASAP. Like, tomorrow's Friday, by tomorrow. And if you don't hit it, it's happened to me. You're going to be angry, but you can't dwell on that. Okay. Whatever you didn't do, let it go, and it's a new day. The day's not over yet, so you can still do some stuff before you go to bed today.
Yeah. And you won't be the first person that has pushed for a goal and not hit it and come up short. So just know that, because we all push for goals and come up short all the stinking time. It's okay. I come up short this week. Week's not over yet, but like, so far I'm short. I still got a lot of making up to do. So you won't be the first. Okay. There's tons of people out there that now are millionaires that had a lot of, downfalls and coming up short and people saying no to them and rejection and all the things. So you won't be the first, but you have to keep pushing. You have to. So I know that we're way over, so I'm going to end it there. I've gotten everybody down for the giveaway or for the one-on-one thing that you can win that joined tonight. Tomorrow's our last night of Spirit Week, and tomorrow we are going to be doing, the theme is It Works, like Spirit Week. It Works. So wear green and bling or your It Works gear if you have It Works gear, and we will see you guys back here tomorrow. Same Zoom ID and same time, guys. Bye. Have a good night.